Did you remember to visit Mom today?
Of course. In fact, I'm still with her.
That's nice. Thanks and all.
Have you finished work yet? If so, can you stop by for a little bit?
I'm tired and I really want to relax. Why? Did Mom say something?
No, but can't you stop by? Just for a bit. Since she moved back home from assisted living, you've hardly seen her.
Do I really have to? There's nothing for me to do there.
I'm sure your mom would like to see her son's face once in a while.
But it's not like I can help take care of her or anything. Isn't it better to let women take care of each other? Women are natural caregivers.
That's true. You don't even take care of your own son, so you'd have no idea how to take care of your mother.
Why would you say something like that?
You know, Scarlett and Ivy don't come by to visit mother either.
Scarlett and Ivy are both working moms. Unlike you, Luna, they have a lot on their plates.
I feel sorry for mom. They both live so close but never come by to see her.
Did she say something about them to you? You really should concentrate more on taking care of her needs and cut down on the gossiping.
It's called confiding with one another, not gossiping. She's your mother, Harry. Show some respect. I feel bad for her. None of her children visit her.
If I have time, I'll stop by. And I'll let Scarlett and Ivy know as well.
Thank you. I'll be leaving here soon to go home.
Oh, I'm gonna meet the guys after work tonight for drinks. So, don't rush on my account.
What? You have time for drinks, but you don't have time to come by and see your mom? Plus, I was hoping you could come pick me up.
Why? You're there now. It's not like you have anything else to do. I'm sure you can manage on your own.
Do you know how difficult it is using public transportation with a small child? You've never done it, so you don't know how hard it is.
Your nagging reminds me of Mom. Anyhow, I'm off. Be careful coming home.
Don't forget to let your sisters know about Mom.
Yeah. Luna, did you say anything to Scarlett and Ivy?
Not that I recall. I just told them the same thing I told you the other day. I even said I'm sure they've already heard it from you.
That's what I'm talking about. They came here to complain to me in person.
They came to your office and they complained about what?
That my wife is good for nothing. Can you imagine how I felt when they said that in front of everyone at work? I was so embarrassed.
You and your sisters are the ones that are good for nothing.
What? How dare you badmouth my sisters?
Oh no! I said something mean about his beloved sisters. Your abnormal affection towards your sisters is disturbing.
There's nothing wrong with my relationship with them. I respect them, that's all. They work really hard and are both super successful.
How wonderful for them. All you talk about is work, work. It's like work is the only thing that matters in life to you.
Can you imagine how I felt when they said that in front of everyone at work? That's like playing house as a child.
Wow, what a wonderful way to phrase what your wife does every day. Do you even know how your mother is health-wise?
Of course not. It's your duty as my wife to keep on top of all those things.
Wow. Yes, master. I really should be more on top of things, especially since you're only concerned about your darling sisters. I guess a part of my role as your wife is to protect your male pride as well.
Why are you trying to push my buttons? Taking care of elderly parents is part of a wife's responsibilities. Be sure nothing goes wrong.
Is that what Scarlett and Ivy think too?
Of course. Luna, I know your parents have already passed. So, you should be grateful you have this opportunity to take care of an elderly parent.
Through taking care of your mom, I got to see different sides of you, Harry. You really are the worst. And not just you, but your sisters too.
Do you realize you're digging your own grave? At this rate, after Mom passes, I'll divorce you.
Really?
Yes, really. There's no way you can survive on your own. If you apologize now, I'll forgive you.
I really like mom, so I want to be with her until the end. So thank you for that option.
What's wrong with you? I strongly suggest you think and act more sensibly.
Sure thing. I guess it's because I'm in a good mood today. I haven't felt like this since before we got married.
What the... Do you know who is working hard to provide you with this lifestyle?
I know it's you for now.
Yes. And if we get divorced, you'll be the one on the streets without a penny to your name.
Maybe. But even then, getting divorced from you would be great.
You know, you've changed since you've started taking care of mom. You've gotten more vocal. You should pick your battles more carefully.
Really? Well, I've been holding things in for too long, I guess. Now I see the pride of a man secretly in love with his sisters. I was walking on eggshells so I wouldn't hurt your feelings.
What? You never know when to stop, do you? Just shut your mouth and take care of mom like you're supposed to. As soon as it's all over, we'll get a speedy divorce.
Don't worry, I'll take care of mother.
Now that everything with mom's funeral is over, plan on filing the divorce papers first thing tomorrow morning. That's what you want, right?
It was a beautiful funeral, wasn't it? I know she's in a better place now, but I'm still devastated that she's gone.
You were crying more than anyone else, Luna. You really made it seem like you cared for her. Thanks, I guess.
I really wonder how your brain can be so screwed up. Let's keep this short. Text me after you've handed in everything you need to for the divorce.
So, you really don't care if I go through with it? Don't come crawling back to me later, begging me to take you back.
As if there's no way I would do that.
Okay? Then I'll head to the courthouse first thing tomorrow morning.
Thank you. Once the divorce is granted, could you send a picture of the confirmation?
No problem. I don't know why you need it, but I don't know what it is with you right now, but you're kind of pissing me off.
Well, you won't have to deal with me for much longer. Tow it out for a little while longer. Thanks for taking care of the paperwork.
Hello, Luna. My aunt called me.
What does she want?
Well, because how much was mom worth?
Are you really asking me this? You're her son. Shouldn't you know about your own mother's assets?
My aunt told me I might have inherited a lot of money. She called to see if I'd lend my cousin some money for college. I never managed mom's affairs, so I don't know anything about it.
Why am I not surprised your aunt would call you for money as soon as your mom died? Something is definitely wrong with your family.
Luna, did mom ever mention anything to you?
You should look into it yourself. I'm rather busy at the moment.
What's with the attitude? Is that any way to treat someone you used to be married to? Hold on, Ivy is calling me.
Oh, great! I wonder what insight she has to share this time. Take all the time in the world. I'll be going then.
Did you inherit money from my mom?
You did, didn't you? Give it back. It belongs to me and my sisters.
Did you read her will?
Will? I don't know anything about a will, but I'm her real child. I have a right to my mother's money. Is that so? I think if you look back at how you treated her, a judge would disagree.
No, it doesn't matter if I visited mom when she was sick or not. If you keep that money, you're basically a thief. I'll have you thrown in jail.
The will states she left everything to me. It doesn't matter if you're her actual child. The will is mightier than blood.
You were plotting this all along, weren't you? You wanted to get close to her so she'd give you the money. What you did is a crime. I'm gonna report you and sue you.
What an imagination. Your idea of what's legal is warped from all the stupid crime TV shows you watch. Maybe if you spent less time watching them and more time caring for your mom, things would be different. I'll have, she advised me on everything.
Advised you? On what?
Before she passed, she told me she was really sad her son and daughters weren't there in her final moments.
Well, she must have been as dense as you then. I've told both of you 100 times we were all really busy at work. What could we have done?
That's the problem. Since you were all so busy at work, she was worried about what effect that would have on your family life, or that you guys were in debt and had to work. She loved you and was really concerned about you three until the end.
What are you getting at? I bet that's because of you. You probably brainwashed her into thinking I was a bad person.
Brainwashed her? No, I often asked her for advice. You never helped me with the housework or taking care of our son. And whenever we spoke, you barked orders at me. It was so patronizing.
Why are you trying to spin it that way? Isn't it obvious a husband is the king of the house? If you ask anyone, I bet they'd say the same thing. Maybe I was a little harsh at times, but that's my style. I can't help who I am, Tam. And what are you even complaining about? I always brought home more than enough money for the family.
Money isn't everything. It won't heal the pain from you telling me how worthless I am for being a stay-at-home mom. I've lost count of how many times you called me a pathetic housewife. I've cried from your abuse too many times to remember.
But it's the truth. I don't see what the problem is.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have some truth for you too. Up until your mom passed away, she was begging me to divorce you. That's when I realized our marriage wasn't normal.
And you got your divorce. That conversation is over. Now we need to focus on that money which rightfully belongs to us. You need to give it back ASAP or there's going to be trouble.
Mother said she must have raised you three wrong. She said she probably wasn't strict enough.
What does that have to do with anything? All it did was let us keep our distance from her without any guilt. You really know how to get on my nerves, don't you?
You've failed as a son and as a husband. Honestly, you're a poor excuse for a human being. Do you know what your mom's last words to me were? Divorce him as soon as possible. Find yourself a good job and live a life of happiness. You deserve it. Do you understand how much she cared for me?
But Luna, there is no way you could hold down a job.
You pay no attention to my life, so there's no way you'd know this, but I've picked up a hobby lately and it's been keeping me pretty busy.
You think you're special because you have a hobby?
I opened a shop online. I started selling some of my handmade goods. It won't make me a millionaire, but it is putting food on the table. I'm going to use it as a means of income, so I won't have to touch the money I got from Mom.
You little... I bet you wasted half of Mom's money on your stupid little crafts. You better not spend another penny of that money. I want it all back, plus whatever you're making at your dumb little online store.
I literally just said I started the store so I wouldn't have to touch the money. How stupid are you? If you really think you have a right to the money, why do you're up and try to take it from me? No matter how much you fuss over it, the inheritance isn't yours.
I've given it some thought, and I think it's best that we get married again. If we're a couple again, I think I can convince Scarlett and Ivy to back off.
Your obsession with them is creepy. Also, absolutely not. I'm finally free of you. You're deranged if you think I'd ever spend another second in the same room with you, let alone remarry you.
I'll have you know, it isn't as easy as you think to survive in the world. You think earning a few $100s a month from your dumb craft store is gonna keep you afloat? Even if you do use Mom's money, it'll only be a matter of time before you spend it all.
I intend to keep Mom's inheritance for our son. Like I've already said twice, I'm not going to touch the money she left for me. I swore to her I'd put it to good use.
Then you're going to be even more strapped for money to make ends meet each month? Don't worry, honey. Your big, strong man will come back to save you. I'll bring home the money just like I used to.
Don't ever call me that again. I don't want to return to hell.
When did you get so independent? It's hard out there. I'll provide for you.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay. Plus, the money I bring home every week is way more than what you were making.
What are you kidding? There's no way that's possible.
I don't care if you don't believe me. Anyhow, I can manage on my own, so I don't need you.
But what about the inheritance?
You won't let it go, will you? And to think you didn't even know it existed until your aunt told you.
To tell you the truth, I bought a new car. The monthly payments are burning a hole in my finances. So when my aunt told me about the inheritance, I thought about how great it would be to pay it all off. If you're not going to give me all the money, can't you just give me enough to pay my car off?
I couldn't care less about your car. Why don't you work hard and pay it off each month? I'm sure if you work really hard, your commission will take care of a measly car payment.
You loved me, didn't you? Can't you do your former husband this one last favor? Honestly, you don't have the right to say no. You should be thankful I'm asking so nicely.
Where's the male pride you've thrown in my face all these years? Isn't it a man's job to take care of his debts himself? Or why don't you ask your precious sisters who work super hard for a handout?
There's no way they have that much money. They have their own families. I'm really sorry for the way I've acted all these years. Luna, please help me.
It's too late to apologize now. You were the one who chose that payment plan, right? Why would you pick a car that you couldn't afford? Only an idiot buys a brand new car they can't afford from the start. Why do you go for a drive with your sisters and try to convince them to pay for it before it gets repossessed? I'm sure you're looking for any excuse to spend time with them.
You little... I told you, I don't have those types of feelings for my sisters.
Really? I bet if it were legal to marry your siblings, you would done it years ago. Anyway, I'm absolutely not going to remarry you. Get that thought out of your head. Getting a dime from mom's inheritance is just as unlikely. There's one more thing mom made me promise her before she passed. She said to do whatever it takes to make sure you don't see even a penny of that money. Harry and his sisters would not give up on the inheritance. They blew up my phone every day, harassing me for the money. I foolishly thought showing them their mom's will would change things. It made no difference to that trio of idiots. I ended up seeking professional legal help, and it was finally resolved. The three of them harassed me and constantly verbally abused me. But in the end, they had no choice but to give up. On the other hand, the online shop I opened has been going really well. I'm enjoying the time I get to spend with my son. I have no idea where Harry is now, and I honestly don't care. But I heard that even his beloved sisters had enough of him. It sounds like they want nothing to do with him anymore. He's getting all the hate he deserves. I bet he's working himself to death because he can't stand the idea of a pathetic housewife earning more than him. Good luck, loser!